All right, you guys. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mariah Newsom. I've been in this industry for almost 7 dang years. That's a really long time, okay? So, I've been in the industry almost 7 years. This is my second company, my first company. I jumped in, I was a broken newlywed. We literally got married, and like a month later, I started my first company. And I had no idea what I was doing. I had never done anything social media related, and I just knew that I wanted my life to change. I was so tired of being stuck and broken, defeated, depressed, all the things. And so I got started there, worked really hard, made it to the top 1% of that company in about 8 months, changed my life, and then a lot of it fell apart. The company and me weren't the right fit. The products and me weren't the right fit. All of the things, it just wasn't aligning anymore. And that's where I found Amare. And I've been here a little over 6 months, I think. And I made it to the top 1% here in about 46 days. I am absolutely in love with everything this company has to offer, from products to the compensation plan, the leadership, the style, everything Amare is. It just speaks to my soul. And I'm so excited. So many of you guys are on that are brand spanking new. Put in the chat if you guys are within your first 1 to 2 months, because I know I see tons of names on here that you guys are so new, and I'm so excited. One, I want to congratulate you guys for being on this Zoom, because it's kind of scary to hop onto a Zoom, right? When you start something new, because you're like, I don't even know these people, and like, what the heck is going to happen? But I'm proud of you guys for showing up, for taking the time out of your night, for getting on here, for hanging out with us. And for those of you guys who are not new, I'm proud of you for your leadership, for showing up, for continuing to pour into yourselves, to stay close to the fire, and continue learning and growing so that you can go and pass that on. You guys are amazing. And I'm really excited tonight to be talking about comparison, okay? This is a topic that is so close to my heart, because I feel like this is something that I have struggled so hard with time and time again, not even just in this industry, but in my life in general. It's so easy to look at what someone else has and want that, right? It's so easy to wonder why they have that success, or why this happens to them, or even the why me is a why I can't have that, right? It's so easy to look left and right and compare. And I found myself there so many times. And the cool thing is when one of you guys have a question, probably every single one of you does. And over the last week, I've gotten so many of my new girls trying to talk to me about comparison. And so me and Courtney had talked about it, and we're like, this is the perfect time. We have a bunch of new people that just came in, and some OGs that have been around that need a little refresher. And so we wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about that comparison trap tonight. And so Courtney is not feeling well. She's not on. So you guys are gonna roll with just me tonight, and we're gonna have a good time. It may be quick, it may not be. We're just gonna go, okay? But so I want to start by talking about some of the dangers of comparison, okay? So the first danger, if you guys are note takers, I'm a big note taker. I've got this all like structured out for you, my note takers. About every section, I've got 4 points for you, okay? So first thing we're gonna talk about is the dangers of comparison, okay? And so the first thing there is we're gonna talk about how it steals your joy, okay? That's the first danger when it comes to comparison, because you cannot be happy with the life you are living. You cannot be happy with the life you are creating. You cannot be happy for with what God is doing in your situation if you aren't looking at your situation, right? If you are looking at what someone else has or what God's doing over there, you can never find that contentment and joy where you are. And if you want to have a successful business, you have to learn to love the process. You have to learn to love the moments. And I'm not saying that you're in love with where you're at and you're happy about your situation, because trust me, I get it. You're not. That's why you're here, right? You want something to change. You obviously don't love where you are. But that doesn't mean that God's not working here. It doesn't mean that you don't have blessings in your day to day. And so when we are looking left and right, when we are worried about what they have and what I don't, it points out lack in your own life. And there's so much abundance in your day, okay? You woke up this morning. You have an amazing family. You have this incredible opportunity. You have a house. You have food. You have so much good, even if we have to boil it all the way down to those basics. You do have good in your day. And if we are working from a place of lack, you're not going to attract success, right? We want to attract people to our business that are going to want what we have, that are going to want to do this with us, that are going to want to run, going to want all these things. But if we're stemming from a place of lack, we start attracting lack back. We get people who can't afford the products. We get people who join and they're like, "Well, I didn't make $1 million in 2 seconds. I don't want to do this anymore." We start attracting lack, okay? And so we want to try to start switching it and attracting that abundance. And that has to start with the comparison trap, okay? The second danger is that it creates doubt. Because I am a firm believer you are here and destined to be here for a reason. You did not accidentally find the money to start your business, okay? You did not accidentally fall over and hit the submit button on your business. You did not accidentally type in all of your information, okay? You are here by purpose. You are here for a reason, and I don't believe that the things that you have on your heart were there by accident. Those goals, those dreams, that desire for something different, I believe that that is there for you, okay? But you can't function in that state if you're stuck looking left and right because you're going to doubt your ability to ever get there. Because you're going to look and be like, well, Amber's doing XYZ. She just killed it over here. I'm not doing that, so I can't have my success, right? That's how our brains start thinking. And you know what? Amber has nothing to do with your business. Her success has nothing to do with your business. And there's enough success in the world that just because she's successful doesn't mean that now there's not enough for you. There's enough to go around, okay? And so we have to be functioning in our space, in our comforts, in our lane with our blinders on, because when you're looking left and right, you're going to doubt your potential, you're going to doubt your possibility, and you're going to doubt your future. And the next danger of comparison is that it leads to inaction. This is so important, you guys, because this creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. I've seen this time and time and time and time and time again in my life and my business, okay? I get really excited about something, I'm ready to go, right? But then I see someone else and they're doing better than me, and I feel like I should be doing that. I've been working harder than them. I've been here longer than them. I show up more than them. I send more messages than them. I work so hard. Why are they further than me? Why are they doing better than me? And so then I'm losing my joy, right? I'm getting frustrated comparing myself. Then I start doubting who I am because why did they have success and I didn't? And what is that going to lead me to do? Not to work harder, not to do more, but to sit on my hands and be like, well, what's the point? Why am I going to go and I'm going to work so hard because I can't even do it? I can't, my stuff's not going viral. I'm not getting the enrollments like they are. Like, why am I going to do it? And guys, inaction breeds fear in your business. If you want to have success, the quickest way is to flip from inaction to action because inaction breeds fear. Action will breed confidence in your business because action will remind you that you can do this, right? Because if you're not having the success, it's because you're not doing the thing or you're not doing the thing long enough. You're not giving it long enough to happen. So if you start doing it, you're going to start. I have one hair on my forehead and it's driving me nuts. Okay, sorry. That had to go. But if you start doing the things, the results start happening, right? You don't have viral videos, we'll keep posting videos because guess what? If you keep posting videos, one will go viral. If you don't have viral videos and you stop posting videos, guess what? Nothing's going to happen over there, right? And that's how it works continuously. And so the last danger of comparison, guys, is it's all a lie. It's all a lie. That thing you're telling yourself in your head that you want that they have, you don't want it because you don't know what they did to have to get it. Like, you don't know what all they had to sacrifice and what they had to go through to get to where they are. You don't want their story. You don't want their crap. Like, we all think our crap stinks the most until we start hearing the backgrounds of someone else, and it's like, well, maybe not. Maybe I don't want to XYZ. And whatever you think they have, guys, you also have to remember that we work a social media business, okay? Social media is a highlight reel. So that life that you are looking at, that you are coveting, that you are wanting, that success, that image, that new car, that vacation, guys, that is the highlight reel. You didn't see the fights before that. You didn't see what's going on in the background. You're literally coveting a magazine cover. without wanting any of the pages in it. It's all a lie. And that a lie just feeds more lies. And then it just starts trickling back because now you're believing lies about yourself. You're telling yourself lies about you, right? That you can't do this, that you don't have that, they do XYZ. And it all stems from just starting looking around and wanting what they have instead of being grateful for what we have, right? So let's talk a little bit about the success, right? That's all the dangers of comparison. Let's talk about success. Because there's four truths to success I want to mention. The first one is that success is not one size fits all, okay? I cannot tell you how many times I get people talk about like, well, I joined the same day as this person and they already have their focus on five done and I haven't even signed anyone. And they start discrediting themselves, right? Because they're looking left and right. But guys, success is not all linear. The best example, and I wish Courtney was on, but Courtney and me both have very big success. And we were both with a previous company and had big success there. Both with this company had big success here. And it's easy to look at us and be like, well, they've got it all together, right? But if you want to look at comparison and the way we could have, I went in my first company, I made it to the top 1% in 8 months, right? It took Courtney like years, years. And that wasn't even her first company. She had another company she did before where she worked really, really hard. And then she went to the second company, which is the one where I was. Years later, finally had success, where I jumped in and I went from the get go. She very much could have sat there and been like, well, Mariah is doing so much more and Mariah is doing so much better. And you guys, though, you want to sit there and be like, well, I just wish I had what either of you had, right? But you don't know the backstory. You don't know the comparison. It's not linear. If you stop before you get there, you'll never get there. That is the only way you don't find success, you guys, okay? If you stop before you get there, you never get there. If you never stop, you are successful. It is inevitable. It has to happen for you that way. The next truth about success is that overnight success is years in the making. I struggled a lot with this, not struggled with it, but last month I had a really big month in my business. My team's volume, we almost doubled our volume. Our enrollments were up like over double. We had more team promotions we've had in months. Like our everything blew up. And I had so many people messaging me like, how did you do it? Like you everything just happened overnight for you. Like that's so amazing. How did it happen? And guys, the truth is it wasn't overnight because no one saw the 90 days before that I was working so hard in the silence. I was working so hard with no results, with no change. I was working so hard, feeling like a failure, feeling like a poser or an imposter because I was working so hard, crying every day, not understanding why it wasn't working. But I did it anyway, and I showed up anyway, and I did it not understanding why it wasn't working. I did it failing forward, not understanding it, not meshing up all of the things. And then all of a sudden I was an overnight success and I had this huge growth in my business. But because it wasn't, that's what the highlight reel says, right? It's all the work that comes behind it. And why it's so important to trust that process is because if I would have quit or if I would have jumped train, not only would my business have been derailed, but almost every single one of you on this Zoom, your business would have been affected because you are working the system that I put together in the trench of feeling like that failure, right? That's why you have to keep going. Somebody needs you when you're that overnight success. Someone needs you to blaze the trail you're walking right now. Someone needs to look at you and be like, I don't know how you did it, but I want what you have because if you don't stop, you become someone's role model. You become someone's inspiration because you showed them it was possible to keep going when it didn't feel like you could keep going. You showed them it was possible that no matter how hard it was, you still showed up and it worked because that's how it works. If you keep showing up, it works. It changes and everything can happen. And someone needs you to continue today when it feels hard. And the next truth about success is that luck is a myth. Okay? If I could shake people to tell them that luck is not real, you do not get lucky in this business. There is no one that is just lucky. Everyone that has success busted their butt for it. Everyone that has had success worked hard. Everyone that has had success felt like a failure. Everyone that has had success did, in fact, fail. Everyone that has had success had a video that got 1 view or 0 interaction. Like every single one of us that has had any amount of success, it was never luck. This industry, guys, it does not discriminate. Anyone can come in and be successful. Why are so few people successful? It's not because of the discrimination. It's not because of luck, but it's because so many people get trapped in comparison and they don't get themselves out of it. They stay, they plant their tent, they decide that they're just going to live here in this idea of how the world around them looks and how this works for everyone else, but it can't possibly work for them. And what you tell yourself is what you will create. If you tell yourself this will not work for you, it cannot work for you. But if you decide to start telling yourself that this will change your life, that you will change your life, that you will do whatever it takes, that you will do what your upline says, that you will show up continuously, guess what? You will create that the same way you would the other way. You will create success for yourself, for your future team, for your family, simply by being committed to not stopping and not giving up. And the last truth I want to mention on success is that we are looking for progress over perfection. Progress over perfection, okay? Small steps that are going to compound over time, guys. We have no control over who's signing and when they're signing, okay? You have no control over what's going to happen in the result of today, but you do have control on what you're doing, on how you're showing up, on what you're showing up doing, how consistently you're going to do it. You have control fully over you. And so when we decide to be focused on the progress, focused on just one step better, one step more consistent, one step, like instead of posting 2 videos, we post 3. Instead of next day, instead of 3 videos, we post 4. Instead of 1 follow train, we go do 2. Whatever that is, but just one step on progress, because you will never have it all together. Lord, you will never have it all together, because I've been here a lot more years than most all of you, and I am a basket case, okay? Like, you ain't never gonna have it together, but you're not supposed to. You're supposed to show up completely, perfectly flawed, and that's where you're going to find your light and your inspiration is through that. And so how can we stay out of the comparison trap, right? Like, we know what it is, we know what comparison is, we know what success is. Well, how do we not get stuck comparing ourselves, okay? Before we even jump into that, you guys, drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever struggled with comparison. How many people are on here? Right? Right? Every single one of you has. And I want you to know that, Hannah, I know you have. You don't have to put your gloves down. It's fine. I got you. I know every single one of us has at some point looked left or right and been like, well, I'm not pretty enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I'm not outgoing enough, or I'm not successful enough, or I'm not whatever. We all have looked and wanted something someone else has. And so I want you to know, like, you're not alone. There's nothing wrong with you because you're struggling with these feelings, okay? Like, take that idea off. There's nothing wrong with you. We just aren't going to stay there, okay? Because you decided that you wanted to do something different with your life. You decided you wanted to go out there and make something for yourself in a way a lot of people don't. You decided you wanted to be an entrepreneur. You are created mentally for something bigger, and we're not going to settle like all the other people in the world settle. And we're not going to settle for comparison. We're not going to stay stuck in our muck and live here in this ickiness. We're going to be bigger, and we're going to start growing ourselves to get out of comparison. And so the first way to stay out of the comparison trap is that you have to know why you're doing this. Not why I'm doing this, not why Molly's doing this, but why are you doing this? Because your focus will always pull you out of a situation that mine couldn't. I'm doing this because I wanted to change my family's life. I wanted to break chains, and I wanted to create a future different than anything I ever knew. Now I'm doing this because I want other women to be able to find that same freedom. I want to be able to change and impact people. I want people to know God loves them and has created them for something bigger, and I want to help them create that bigger for them and their families. But that's not going to make you feel better when you're feeling like you can't do this and you're falling apart. You've got to know why you are doing this. Every single one of you is going to have a different answer. Every single one of you is showing up for a different moment in this season. Maybe it's that you just want more time with your kids. Maybe it's just that you want to be able to get more animals on your farm. Maybe it's that you want to be able to not have to stress about how you're going to keep the lights on. Maybe it's you want to travel more. Maybe it's you just want some fun money. Maybe you just want to help people with their mental health. Whatever it is, you've got to know why you're doing this. Because every single one of you is here for a reason. And then we got to focus on those controllable actions, not the results. You will not sign, you will not have an enrollment every single day for every single month of every single week of every single year for your entire business. Okay? In case you're wondering, if you were thinking that, let me pop your bubble. You're not going to go and sign someone every single day. If you are basing your worth and success solely off of your enrollments, you are going to be defeated more than you are not. And when you are defeated, it's hard to be a champion tomorrow when you're ending today in defeat, right? And so if you are being like, well, I want to promote every month and I want to sign someone every single day, and that's where you're holding your merit, you are setting yourself up for failure, okay? Because you don't have control over that. You have no control over when someone is going to click submit. You have no control over when they're going to text you back. You have no control over who's going to comment on something or who's going to watch something or how this is going to happen. You have no control over those things. So if you're judging your worth and your ability to have success solely based on results, yes, we need results, okay? That's how we get paid, right? I'm not going to like ignore that. But that's not have anything to do on your worth. Your worth and ability for success has to come on controllable variables because you get to decide your destiny. You get to decide how you're going to feel about yourself. You get to decide what is going to go on and what you're going to celebrate and what's going to happen every single day. And so you've got to learn to fall in love with the daily steps. Fall in love and be proud of yourself for the growth you're having day over day. You got 5 more followers on TikTok? Freaking heck yeah. Let's do it. Let's go. That's 5 more eyes than you had yesterday. Like, those are the things that we have to be focused on. When you're focused on the process, on the things that you're doing, the controllables, then the results will come from that because you're doing the right actions. And when you do enough of the right things, the results happen. It is inevitable. You can't make it not, right? And so we want to focus on the things we can control. And then we want to celebrate. Number 3 is we're going to celebrate those daily wins. Okay. So if that means that you're writing down how many followers you have on TikTok this morning, and then before you go to bed, you write down how many you ended the day with, and then you throw yourself a 30-second dance party because you got those 5 more followers, then let's freaking go. Let's do it, okay? If it's you're like, well, I struggle to post the videos with my face in them, but I really want to, so today I'm gonna put up one of my videos and I'm gonna keep my face in it instead of just the nature and the walking or whatever. We're about to celebrate, okay? We about to blow it up like you just won the Olympics because that is amazing because you set a goal for yourself and you did it. You have to value those little moments along the way because I didn't show up on social media the way you see me now 7 years ago when I started. When I started speaking on Zooms, it didn't sound like this, you guys, okay? Let me just say, if I could find some of that old stuff, you'd be like, I don't even know who that is. It didn't sound like this. I didn't talk like this. I didn't have the thoughts, the words. When I started making TikToks, y'all, it was bad, okay? Those we aren't even going back to the first days of TikTok, all right? Like, we don't want to talk about what that looked like. It was awful. When I first started voice messaging, horrible. Horrible, horrible. I stuttered and I talked for way too long and it was awful. And we all start there. But the reason my content is good now, the reason I speak well now is not because I did it and then I was like, this is awful. I just gotta hide in the shadows. No, I just did it badly. And I just did it badly again. And I did it badly again. And then here we are 7 years later where I'm no longer doing it badly. At least not everything. Like, don't worry, I still have my moments. I still try new things and it doesn't go well. And I still like I'm trying to figure out TikTok live right now and it is not going well at all for me, you guys. It's not it, okay? And that's okay. Because guess what? I'm still doing my TikTok lives real badly. And then in a couple days when I do another one, It's gonna be real bad, but I'm still gonna do it. And then in a couple days when I do another one, it's gonna be real bad, but I'm still gonna do it. Okay? It's we're showing up and we're celebrating the fact that we are showing up. Because if you want to get to this success, you don't wake up a success. Remember, overnight success, it's bullcrap. It's not real. You don't wake up good. You make yourself good. You practice. You show up. You get a little bit uncomfortable every day. And all of a sudden, one day you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize it, but I did the thing. I did the thing, right? And then the last thing that we can do to stay out of the comparison trap, guys, is we can practice gratitude. If you don't have a daily practice of gratitude, let this be a reality check for you of like, you need to get this together, okay? I'm a very strong Christian. I talk about God all the time. So if you guys are with me on that, you're with me. If you're not, like, that's cool too. Like, to each their own. But it's not just gratitude is not just a religious thing, okay? It's not just a faith thing. It's just in the universe, right? What you put out is what you get back. If you're putting crappy thinking out there, you're creating crappy thinking in the world around you. But if we practice gratitude, we are practicing the process of looking for good. I heard a quote once that rocked my world and really changed the way I looked at practicing gratitude every day. And it was like if all you had today, at the end of the day, you go to bed, all you have when you wake up is what you thanked God for today, would you be okay? I was like, oh, wait, what? If I went to bed and all I had when I woke up was the things that I said, thank you, God, for the things today, would I be okay? I would not be okay most days. But that's how we've got to look at our lives. Because if we thank God so aggressively in our day that tomorrow we could wake up with everything that we still had, plus some, like imagine the life we would be living. Imagine how our brains would start to rewire themselves. Because when you're training yourself for gratitude, you're training your brain to start looking for good things in your life. How are you going to recognize the good things? Because if I told you to sit down and write down 25 things you're thankful for, there's a bunch of us on here that would be like, I don't even know if I could think of 25 things. And like, that's not a bad thing. Like, we've been there. Every single one of us have been there in our life. Like, it's hard sometimes. But if every single day you wrote down 25 things you were thankful for without repeating, even if we did five, okay? 5 things a day that you're grateful for without repeating. It's going to be really freaking hard, but it's going to start training your brain to look for things to be grateful for. The more good you look for, the more good you see. And when you see the good around you, you start creating more good because you got to think of 5 more things tomorrow. And you got to think of 5 more things the next day. And every day you're finding more and more good in your life. And so you start creating more and more good in your life. If you guys don't practice writing down some things you're grateful for, start it in the morning, start it before you go to bed. Literally 5 things. Write down 5 things that you're thankful for. Do it again the next day and don't repeat. And I promise that will change your life. If you take nothing else from this Zoom, that right there, that one thing can change your life. The last thing we're going to go real quick because we are running out of time. I wasn't sure if this would be a quick Zoom because I don't feel the best, but we hung the whole time, y'all. We're killing it. But we're going to talk about a couple practice steps because I like to make this whole thing tangible, okay? I love mindset Zooms. I could sit here and preach all day about the things in our heads and how we got to take those thought captives and we can change our life just by our thinking. Like, that's my bread and butter. I love that so much. But it's easy to get caught in this lofty idea of our head, but it's really hard to take the thoughts in our head and actually do anything with them, okay? Been there, done that, all right? I've been through so much soul work to try to get my life together, of trying to actually get in my head and start rewiring. So I put together 4 practice steps you guys can take tangibly from here to help get yourself out of the comparison trap if you're stuck there, and then to stay out and stay in your thriving zone going forward. And so the first thing is that you got to have a catchphrase, okay? And I mean this. And I don't even know. I think I put this together like a year and a half, 2 years ago. But you got to have a catchphrase because you're going to have comparison thoughts, okay? You're going to get jealous. You're going to want what they have. You're going to whatever. And you need a catchphrase where you get it out. Like right then and then, you rewrite your story. And so for me, anytime I have a comparison thought, like any at all, like literally Courtney was at the beach this weekend and I wanted to be at the beach and I was upset because I wasn't at the beach. Okay. Let's use that example. All right. Like comparison is part of who we are. But in that moment, instead of allowing that icky to start festering, to start being like, well, why does she get to go to the beach? I want to go but I can't afford it right now. And I can't this and I can't that. And I'm pregnant. So I can't even drink at the dang beach. Like she's enjoying her cocktails. And we start spiraling. You have a catchphrase to pull yourself out. And so my catchphrase is, I don't want what they have. I want what God has for me. And I tell myself this a million times a day. I look left and this happens and this happens. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want what they have. I want what God has for me. I don't want what they have. I want what God has for me. And that's mine. You guys, if you don't like that, don't use it. Okay? That's fine. It works for me. If you guys need help with creative stuff like that, use ChatGPT. Tell ChatGPT you had homework that you had to make a catchphrase to help you get out of your comparison trap. Okay? It's amazing. It'll start helping you write something. Okay? The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to turn envy into inspiration. Instead of looking at someone and thinking that the pie is only this big, their success is already taken away from yours, right? Instead, we're going to start looking at people and remind ourselves that if they did it, that is proof that I can do it too. If they did it, it's proof that I can do it too. Because this business doesn't discriminate. If someone went ahead of you and someone had the success you want, all that is showing you that that success is in fact possible. Okay? We don't have to want what they have because they had this success, that means that you too can. That means that you too have the ability to go out and have that success. The third thing is we have to stay connected. I cannot stress this enough, you guys. Your mentor, your enroller in this business, they are here, yes, to help you build your business. But you know what? You want my truth in it? Google can help you build your business. You can get on Google and you can be like, how do I grow a social media business? You can find tips, you can find trainings. All right? Your enroller, your mentor is here to help grow you into a business-minded individual, okay? If you're not going to them with your icky feelings, you're missing out. I can look at your social media and I can come to you and be like, hey, we need to tweak these things. I can't look at you and know what's going on in your head. You have to come to me. So your enroller is there to talk you off the ledge of comparison, to talk you off the ledge of I don't know what to do, or I'm feeling defeated, or I'm feeling discouraged. Take that to them. Don't sit in your isolation in that. Take that to them and they're with you. We've been here. We've been exactly where you are, feeling exactly how you felt. We already walked through it, and now it's our job to help you get through it a little faster, to help you get through it with better tools than we had when we struggled. We want to be there in that fight with you, but it is on you to utilize that. It is on you to stay connected to us and bring those problems and those feelings to us and allow us to walk with you through it. And then the last thing, guys, is you have to trust God's timing. You have to trust his timing because you are not behind. You're not wrong. You are exactly where you need to be. I cannot tell you how many nights I've spent praying to be somewhere I wasn't, praying to be further along, praying to be able to XYZ. And I felt at times I deserved it. I felt like times I worked harder for it. All of the things that you guys have felt, but when you can truly accept the idea that God's timing is perfect, you are not behind. You are where you need to be. Find a lesson to learn here. It just helps you continue going forward because you also can't arrive early. You can't get there before God wants you to get there. Okay, you can't get there before you're ready to be there. You can't. So that just boils down to the fact that you were exactly where you're supposed to be in the moment you were supposed to be here, with the network you're supposed to have, with the leadership you're supposed to have, with the downline you're supposed to have, with the community you're supposed to have, with whatever it is, you are where you were supposed to be. And if you are fighting wanting to be somewhere else, you're missing what God is doing here. You're missing the impact you're supposed to have here because you're too busy looking elsewhere. And you can't get elsewhere till you complete your mission here. You can't just jump to Z if you don't know the rest of the alphabet. You have to first tackle A and then B and then C. And so when we're so busy looking at like, dang, I just really want what's at letter T, we can't get there until we get through the rest. So the longer we spend looking forward at where we think we ought to be, is the longer we're stuck where we are because we're not appreciating where we are and we're not learning and growing here where we got to be. But when we start learning, we grow here, we're appreciative of where we are, we get to go to the next spot. And you grow the next spot and you grow to the next spot. And before you know it, guys, you've changed your whole life. And so this is just something that's so on my heart because it's something I know that I struggle with today, literally in my day-to-day life. And I know that so many of us struggle. And if I could go back in time to when I started my business 7 years ago, if I could have drilled anything into my head, it would have been to be grateful for my own journey. It would have been to be focused on myself. Stop letting other people's success, that has literally nothing to do with me, rob me of my hope, my joy, and what God is doing in this season for me. And so I hope you guys took something away from this. I'm going to try to get the recording up tonight. We'll see. We'll see. Well, hopefully. But hopefully you guys got something out of this. I appreciate all of you taking time out of your night for hopping on here. I love you dearly. We are at the beginning of a brand new month, and I am so stinking excited to watch what unfolds this month in your business. If you can get out of the comparison ickies, if you can stay consistent to doing your guide, to doing those 4 steps on TikTok every single day, I know you can have a transformative month. And I'm so excited to partner with all of you guys in that journey. We have like 12 seconds left. So I love you all. Have a great evening, guys.